Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Authentic Worth Publishing, where we are bringing worth back into you through storytelling and book writing. In today's video, we will be discussing my latest book called Confident Face, Embracing Your Own Authentic Beauty, with two special women that will be sharing their stories regarding their skincare experiences. Today, we have Wendy and Melvina with us. Ladies, you are both welcome, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So before we begin, I want to briefly read a synopsis of what Confident Face is about. Now it states here that when you look in the mirror, what do you see? In a world where physical appearance is compromised with social media filters and flawed perceptions of vanity, there's a deep void that temporary satisfaction can't fulfill. If someone asks you what makes you stand out, what will you answer to? Confident Face is the ability to nurture and embrace your own authentic beauty. Our generation is heavily focused on physical attributes that tends to neglect inner beauty, the working on one's character, behavioral patterns, and attitudes which are often overlooked. The sooner you learn to accept who you are, the sooner you will move from the path of confusion to confidence. So it's called Be Your Own Confident Face. And this is how the book looks. So what I'm going to start off with now is Wendy's story. And I'm actually going to read her brief contribution to the book. And it starts off like this. It says, the skincare journey is one that comes with a lot of ups and downs. It is difficult to feel like your shine is being hindered. You get tempted to feel down and defeated. And the challenge with having battles with your skin is often greatly misunderstood. It is an enemy that attempts to steal your peace, your confidence, your beauty, and oh goodness, your money. As you embark on much trial and error with different types of products and treatments in your war against these skin issues, and in your bid and sincere, desperate desire to get that perfect, healthy, and glowing skin that you deserve. But as you go through it, you must always remember, no matter what battles you face with your skin, know that your beauty is not defined by them. Underneath those scars, those pimples is a glowing queen. And the truth is that beauty radiates from within and is defined from that inner place of a quiet and gentle spirit. The battle is temporary. The challenges are not unbeatable. Even if the journey is slow and painful, which it normally is, and it does require much patience, you will be undefeated. You will indeed win over this enemy, and you will radiate all your glory and beauty as you should. You are still beautiful, and no skincare issue can take that away. Amazing. And so I just want to say, first of all, thank you, Wendy, for your contribution. And I'm going to start off with your first question, in which states here, thank you for your transparency regarding the progress of your skincare routine. My first question for you is that you were in a season where various products and treatments had an impact with your skin. So how did this contribute to your well-being, and what did you do to overcome the unexpected scars and spots as well?
When I was going through, dealing with my skin issues, which is not 100% perfected even now, like I said in my my contribution, it's a journey filled with ups and downs. So I've had many, should I call it speed bumps, along the way, when you think, okay, I'm getting there. And then you have, you have like a season that comes and it's like, seems like a setback. Yeah. So that makes you feel, it made me feel down. It made me feel like, because when you have, what I noticed that when you have like really, really good skin, you feel much more, you feel much more bright.
Yeah.
You feel much more like, you definitely feel much more confident. You feel much more classy. You just feel clean.
Yeah.
You feel like you are definitely glowing. So when I was going through those issues, personally, when I look back on my pictures, from when I started in 2020. I would say that sometimes it's one thing I really do is I take pictures. I've taken so many pictures along the way, because sometimes a good thing is that you don't realize actually your progress. Sometimes you might look in the mirror and think, oh, is it really going as I want it to go? But then you look on your pictures and you're like, actually, wow, there actually has been a great amount of progress. So when I look back sometimes, I look at my skin and I said, actually, I felt like my skin looks dirty. I know, harsh, right? My skin looked dirty, so that's how I felt. So I felt like I just had dirty skin, like unhealthy. So that is how it contributed to my well-being, feeling unhealthy, feeling dirty, feeling like you're just not glowing. You're just not glowing at all. So that obviously mentally makes you not feel as confident. So when you're not feeling confident, you know, you don't have all the joy that you should have, basically. Yeah, it can get quite, mentally draining, emotionally draining when you just look at your skin and you've got all these spots and you've got all these. For me personally, anyway, my issue wasn't really. I've not really had like a spot issue. I did have spots. There was that season when I started in 2020, probably was my greatest season of having spots. But my issue mainly is acne scar. It's the scarring, the scars. I did have issues obviously with picking and stuff. So especially with my chin. So oh yeah, and the chin issue in terms of my well-being made me feel like a guy, because you have all these dark spots on your chin as if you've got like a beard, because it's dark around there. Yeah. So you don't want to feel like a boy when you're like a male, when you're a beautiful woman, you're feminine, it doesn't make you feel very feminine. That for me personally, that's what it did to me. So I hope that answers that bit about how it contributed.
Answered it so well. Thank you so much, Wendy. That was amazing. And you mentioned that no matter what battles you face with your skin, know that your beauty is not defined by them. Can you explain this further, please?
Yes, because, true beauty comes from within. I mean, you can have the glowing skin, you can be, first of all, beauty is subjective anyway. What one person finds attractive is not what another person finds attractive. You might find this unattractive, but another person finds that attractive. So that cannot be, we have to define beauty the way God defines it, right? So, and that's from a gentle and quiet spirit. Sometimes you can see somebody who people might not necessarily consider attractive, right? Physically, societal standards. However, because of the way they carry themselves, because of the heart that they have, because of the spirit that they have, their aura, their energy, they're beautiful. Do you understand? They're beautiful. So if you're like that, people will not even, you might be self-conscious of your skin, but people might not even see that, because they're just so overtaken by the true beauty that's coming from within that they don't even really see this. So that's why. Oh, I have that top. Your top, sorry.
It's all right. I was really deep in what you said. It is so true. But yeah, the top. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Wow. No, Wendy, honestly, it's just amazing, because it's like you're flowing. Because then my third question is, one of the key scriptures you referenced is in 1 Peter 3, verse 3-4, which tells us that beauty radiates from within and is defined from that inner place of a quiet and gentle spirit. So in addition to what you stated, how can you use this to encourage people who are still looking for different alternatives to solve their skincare insecurities?
I think what that scripture just does is just to give them that peace and confidence whilst they are in that journey, to help them not to be down and depressed about it, because it doesn't, they are sincerely searching for a solution to their skin, which is fine, which is, God doesn't want us to have these spots and these scars and these, it's not just like accept it, no. So we do have, the fact that God has given man and people the knowledge to be able to create products, to be able to find these things, to be able to make it that helps us. So it's helpful. So people should go and do what they need to do, because what works for one person is not what works for another person. Some people might say, okay, do all natural, use potatoes, use carrots, whatever. okay, that may work for you, that's fine. But somebody else, that may not be what works for them. They might, for me personally, I've had to use harsher products. I haven't really gone natural or whatever it is. And that's what's worked for me. And it's not without its side effects and stuff. You still have to even deal with those kind of things. So whilst you are on that journey, that scripture should encourage you not to not feel bad about where you are.
Yeah.
To not feel like you're not beautiful in the moment as you're trying to, get to achieve your goals, achieve your skincare goals. So if you know that, then it will give you the ability to be patient with the journey. Yeah. And patience is very helpful when you're going through this, because when you're not patient, then you're gonna patient. One thing I've learned in life in general is patience really does give you rest.
Yes.
So if you have the ability to be patient, because you understand that actually, although I have these skincare issues and I am finding the physical solution to it, the truth is I don't have to be upset about the different stages of my journey, because the true beauty is coming from within anyway. This is mostly what people need, is what's coming from within me, not just what's the physical will follow, as I keep going.
That's it. Perfect answer. Thank you so much, Wendy. And you encourage those who hear about your story that they will overcome their skin flaws, and emphasize that we are all beautiful and no skincare issue can take that away. Is there anything that you can contribute towards that?
So like I was saying earlier on, like I said, I take a lot of pictures, and this is why I know that it's not unbeatable, because a lot of my life, I have had these skin issues. And back then, I didn't understand about skincare. I didn't understand about skincare products. So it was really for when I lockdown period, coronavirus, when it started, I had no option than to be at home. And at the time I wasn't working, and I was going for a lot of issues, which really just pushed me to seek God further. And that's when I began to look at my life and look at different things. One of the things I noticed was my skin. I knew I had, skin issues, but I never really, and it's a mindset thing. So at the time, before now, and I thought it was unbeatable. I thought it wasn't something that that was just a part of me. Sometimes you see, when you don't have the right mindset, you accept things you shouldn't really accept. So I thought it was just like a part of me, just have bad skin, it's not like it hindered me from, I don't know, things, but I just never really, I just kind of took it as part of me, even though I didn't like it, but I didn't think that it was something that I could, really, really cure, because I didn't understand about skincare. I didn't understand about skincare products until, I took those first pictures, and I looked at this picture and I was like, damn. Like, even like when some people, like my friends and people that I share these, images with, they're like, no, I didn't think I never thought it was that bad. So I think that's what I mean. Again, I think it goes back to that whole gentle, that spirit that people are not even, probably, because of just how I am, my heart, people are not even really seeing that it was that bad. So what was it that I was carrying that made people overlook the fact that my skin actually was that bad? Do you understand? So so when I look at the pictures, and then, like I said earlier on, I have had different speed bumps. I've had times I've scarred, and that's in trying the products, in using the products. Sometimes you can have the right product, but you're using it wrongly. And then, but the thing is, the good thing about the journeys, that you learn from these mistakes. So I don't regret it, because I've learned from the mistakes. I know what not to do next time. I know how to use the product better next time. I know the amount to use, how long to use it for. So when I look back on my pictures, I see the progress. I see, okay, for example, let's say I had the spot here and there. I see I took it on, for example, the 1st of March, and then I took another picture a month later, and I'm seeing the difference. So it also gives me the ability to see time frames of how long. So sometimes I've looked and said, actually, it hasn't even taken that long, because usually you expect, no, it might take 6 months, it might take 1 year. But then because I'm taking those progress pics, I'm seeing, wait, wow. So this actually cleared up, or at least got significantly better within like 2 weeks, within like 4 weeks. And that gives me the confidence to keep going, to say, actually, it does work. And every time I've had a speed bump, every time I've had a setback, I've seen the recovery. So that's how I know that it's not, because what my skin is right now, like I'm going through a minor setback. But no matter the minor setback I'm going through, I still look back on my pictures from a year ago, 2 years ago, and it's still nothing like that. So I've never gone back to square one. So that's why this right now, I know that whatever little scarring or whatever I have, that's gonna clear up in a little while. As long as you remain consistent and patient. Consistencies, you can be a bit inconsistent, but it might just take longer.
Yeah.
But if you're consistent, you definitely will see the results.
Amazing. Wow. And my last question is, what encouragement, advice, or recommendations can you share with those who are listening on how they can manage their mindset on the status of their skincare routine?
I would say you need to be patient. You need to cultivate a mindset of patience. And you need to believe that you need to believe. You need to know that this is not, like I said, it's not unbeatable. So the way that you can do that is by, one thing that's really helped me in life in general is just knowing the love that God has for you. You know that God loves you. He will lead you to the right products for you personally. Like I said earlier, not what works for everybody. One person works for you. How I did my skincare journey is to adapt different things that I came across. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos of different skincare routines, of different things. I read a lot of blogs, but what I realized as I was watching all those things is that I couldn't follow anyone's one specific skincare routine from A to Z like that. So I would take bits and bobs from different videos, from different articles, mix and match it, and then trial it, and then see what works for me. What's not working for me, I drop it. What's working for me, I continue. So because I think that's the deception. Sometimes you think, okay, you watch a video, the person gives an A to Z skincare routine and it works for them. You think, if I do the skincare routine just like they've done it, it will definitely work for me. There's no guarantee that it will definitely work for you because it works for them. Some parts of it might work for you. So like for me personally, I know that the things I've done will be really bad, will not be good for some people's skin.
Yeah.
Some people's skin are much more now my skin is more sensitive now than it was before because of the products I've used.
Yeah.
But when I used them, my skin wasn't sensitive. So, but some people already have sensitive skin that if they done what I did or they do what I do, it will not be good for them. Does that make sense? So you have to believe that God will lead you to what is going to work for you. And you have to be patient, cultivate a mindset of patience, and just be expectant. Be expectant that it's going to change.
That's right.
Because one thing I've learned in life is that sometimes you think it's never going to change. Again, that's the good thing about these progress pics. Exactly. At the time when you're starting, you're thinking, oh, this might take forever and ever. This is probably not going to change. But then you look back, and so every time you're tempted to think something isn't going to change, look back on what you've already achieved.
Yeah.
And see how at that time you thought this wasn't going to change, but then 2, 3, 4, 5 months later, you've seen the change. So it definitely can change. So yeah, have a mindset of possibility. Yeah.
Wow, have a mindset of possibility. This is amazing, Wendy. Thank you so much for your honesty, your heartfelt contribution. I felt every word you said because I can definitely resonate. And it has been amazing having you here. And we're going to definitely wrap up with a few questions after Melvina's interview session. So thank you again.
No problem.
Perfect. So now we've got Melvina. Hi, Melvina. Today, I'm going to be reading your story as well. Your story is quite similar to Wendy's, but you go in a bit more depth with regards to the natural products that you've actually identified to use during your skincare journey. So here it goes. It says, I've always done the facial wash and exfoliating routine for many years, but it was not a consistent routine. Sometimes I would fall asleep without washing my face after a day out. I might just lazily wipe my face with baby wipes and doze off. My skin reflected on the lack of effort and attention I was giving to it. It would break out into angry spots. Ironically, it would be around a special occasion or the day I needed my skin to cooperate. Is a flawless skin too much to ask for? I always knew that my expectations of a blemish-free and flawless skin required time and effort on my part. I needed to love this temple the best way possible and show it the gentle love and care that it yearned for, but time I did not have. Long hours at work, constantly feeling tired, and the idea that other things were of a higher priority, thus requiring more of my time. So I carried on with my inconsistent and hurried skincare routine. Then the pandemic called coronavirus came. We were forced into lockdown. The world stopped and time stopped. I was forced to stop in my heels and put things into perspective. The time which I always felt I needed more of had been given to me in abundance. Ample time to reflect on my past actions. Nowhere to go, just me, myself, and I. So I focused on the temple that God gave me and started with my skin. I tried out different products and was shocked that I hadn't started this earlier. Natural products that our Father has blessed this world with and has given us the wisdom to mix concoctions and recipes to enhance our bodies with. I was amazed and full of awe about the science behind our bodies inside and out. I realized that my skin responded well to black soap. It loved the vapor of my steam machine and rejoiced when I massaged my whipped shea butter infused with essential oils into my skin. And so my skin glowed. It felt supple and young. I did not need to lather my face in makeup all the time. I let my skin speak for itself. The confidence and joy it gave me reminded me that I reap whatever I sow, and my skin was bearing fruits from the labor of my consistent skincare routine. Persistence, patience, effort, and consistency led to the confidence I felt in my new skin. For once, I could meet my friends without feeling like I had to bathe my face in makeup. With this, I'll urge everyone to adopt a skincare routine. Find the time to understand your skin, understand what it likes and does not like. Be patient with it, for Rome was not built in a day. Feed it the nutrients that it needs to flourish and watch it glow in return. We have one life to live and one skin to live in. How we treat it now will determine how we will look in 20 years' time. Let's be kind to our skin, be kind to you. That was so profound. Thank you so much, Melvina. So my first question for you is, how did you identify that your skin wasn't working out the way you intended it to? And what made you decide to find a suitable routine with these natural skincare?
Okay, so just a quick disclaimer that I think the time that I wrote this, it was during the pandemic, I think. And my routine has actually changed. So it's not entirely natural product I use, but it's interesting, like the routine you can adopt over time. But I'll just go back to just a bit of my past, that my skin was never really problematic per se, but it was kind of ingrained in me that it was. So I'll give you an example that I had oily skin, and I remember growing up, taking pictures and your face is so shiny, and people were like, oh, you look like you could fry oil on your forehead, or mom's complaining that your face is so shiny, wipe it before you take pictures, or going to Ghana and having aunties say, oh, don't go in the sun, that it's gonna burn you, you're gonna get darker and stuff. So by certain things around me, I just felt my skin was a problem without me really realizing that it was a problem. Then I became more observant of what my skin was doing. So hyperpigmentation, I think the more you observe or you notice things, it becomes a bit microscopic in a way. You notice your flaws more. So I was like, oh, this place is a bit dark. I've got dark eyelids. Oh, my neck and my face don't match, stuff like that. So I just kind of felt like, okay, my skin doesn't have issues per se, but it's a problem. So I can do something about it, because clearly people have pointed out that this is the norm. So I need to do something about it. And just looking back at certain habits as well as first year of uni and stuff, and just certain behaviors, I think over time realizing that certain habits were not good. So like, I remember I think social media also plays a part, because I remember just thinking, I became more noticeable of my skin color. And this is probably the first time I'm going to say openly and loudly that, I did become insecure of the skin that I was in. And I remember just noticing that, oh, okay, like it seems that my shade, maybe I could do something about it. People keep pointing it out. And I remember an auntie, when I went to Ghana, this many years ago, saying, oh, this will help to even out your skin and stuff. And looking back, and essentially that was bleaching. And I remember I told my friends, a couple of friends, about this product. And I just remember, like, I think I won't forget this, where it was like, oh, we're going to come back looking all, our skin's all one shade, and we'll be like I can't remember the term, but almost like attractive. This was first year of uni. And looking back, thinking, wow, I can't believe like I used to think like this. I look back at pictures and I look so dry. My skin looked genuinely dehydrated and dry. And I don't even recognize that person in the picture. So, and the time when I, just thought, I need to change these habits and stuff. I mean, I stopped all that and adopted like natural products, but more during lockdown, I felt that, this is like the world has stopped, and this is a time to kind of, reflect and just focus on my well-being inside and out. So I just looked for what I can adopt, and just products and just behaviors and routine that would help in my well-being, I guess. And my skincare is an extension of my well-being. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And in your second contribution, it states that the importance of taking off your makeup is encouraged. So what made it difficult for you to participate in at the time when you said that you couldn't be asked at times to take it off?
I'll be honest, that it was probably sheer laziness, but just not understanding skincare and the importance of it. You just wipe your face and the makeup's off. But then over the years, I understood that you have to use a cleanser. You don't just wipe it, you have to use a cleanser, a toner, you have to exfoliate. There's various routine to it. So that was not even the bare minimum, using wipes. And I can't justify that. I think it was probably ignorance and laziness, to be very honest with you.
Perfect. And my third question is, when you saw your face accumulating spots, what did your mindset do to adopt a more healthier perspective, believing that your skin would get better?
So, I mean, nobody, I guess, likes when their skin breaks out. And as I was saying before, it always came at the time when there was like an important event. And I'll just think, oh, great, here we go. So it just made me feel bad, I would say. But I think just realizing that, this is the temple that I've been given. And this one blessed with. I have one body that I have to live in. I have to look after it the best way possible. And it's easier said than done, especially if you have insecurity around your skin generally. But it was more of like over time, just telling myself that, I'm beautiful. This is what I've been blessed with. If God loves me, who am I not to show that love to myself? And my skincare is an extension of the self-care that I should give to myself. So what's a sport gonna do? And yeah, I've got a sport. Okay, so what? All I can do is really try and make the effort to, just look after my skin. And there's various reasons why my skin would break out. There's different factors, stress can add to it. If you're not having alkaline diet, that could add to it. Not even as simple as washing your pillowcases often can add to it. Maybe you ate something, your skin's reacting to it. So there's various factors, but I think we're harder on ourselves. And I think when we're younger, we just tend to be harsher to ourselves. But I think acceptance and just being confident in your skin, regardless of the skin type or what your skin does. Like I said, it's easier said than done, but adopting this over time and knowing that I am more than my skin, and a few spots is not going to take away from my value and who I am. So doing that, and obviously adopting a routine that is working, although different factors can play a part. So like, your menstrual cycle's approaching, you've got a spot. So what, just do your routine, and with time, that's going to get better. So just adopting that mindset has helped me in not, feeling bad about a breakage or a breakout.
Amazing. And also, you talk about the beauty of using, I know you've said that you've now changed your skincare routine, which is great, by the way, but in reference to your contribution, I'll just stick to what you stated here, because you mentioned black soap. And in 2020, I also used black soap as well, and it helped very well, although it did really dry me out eventually. So is this the same today? And even if you're not using the black soap anymore, what products are you using at this time that could help others that are listening to you that may want to change from the black soap into other alternatives?
So I think finding a good cleanser first, which essentially is a facial wash. But firstly, identifying what skin type you have. So you could have combination skin or oily skin like I do. So just doing a bit of research into it. But so finding out your skin type, getting a good cleanser, adopting a routine. So, exfoliating twice or 3 times a week, depending on what your skin does. Finding a good toner, a good moisturizer, which is water-based. And yeah, also getting a good sunscreen. But this that when I did start out like the routine, it was quite overwhelming because I mean, who doesn't want a good thing? So you hear, oh, this is good, I'm gonna try it. This I heard using turmeric and apple cider is good. Try that mask, different things. So I do really appreciate and value the natural products, but with my skin type over time, as you mentioned with black soap, that really dried out my skin, and then I started getting rashes and really itchy. My skin got really dry, and that's not naturally my skin. So when I tried that out, as much as I valued it because it has its other like good components and elements to it, but I realized that that's not good for me. So I can't pinpoint and say do this or do that, but just doing some research, get 1 or 2 products and try that, and give yourself time, be patient with it. It's a process, like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day. So you're not expecting your skin issues to go in a day. So just adopting a routine, doing some research, and then going from there, but be patient with the process. It sounds very cliche, but you got to trust the process and know that, something is going to work, and I've got to be patient with myself, and also just being gentle with the process and not being hard on yourself, because you are more than your skin. And if it doesn't work, try again, be patient, try again. It doesn't take away from your value. It doesn't take away from anything, because you are trying. There are worse things in the world, and you are trying. You're giving yourself that self-care. You're showing love to your skin. So that's all you can do, really. Sometimes, like Wendy was saying earlier, that it may not go away completely. I still get breakages and stuff, and it happens. It doesn't mean that I'm not doing a good scare routine, or the product that I have is not any good. Whereas in the past, I would buy so many things and I'll be overwhelmed. I'm like, oh, this is long. Now it's just, I'm not doing that. I've literally got one or two that I use consistently, and that's it. So just got to trust the process, I would say.
Yeah, perfect. And also, you mentioned that in the book, you always know that your expectations of a blemish-free and flawless skin requires time and effort on your part. Could you explain this further, please?
I think it's quite simple as it is that, the effort that you put is you're gonna reap what you sow. So the time and effort is very important, because when you start a routine, you're not, like I said, you're not gonna see the progress possibly straight away. There's different factors, so you've got to just trial it out and see, and this takes time. But when you haven't given yourself time, it could be a month to 8 weeks. If you don't give yourself that time for your skin to actually adjust and adopt, whatever chemicals or products that are in this product that you're using, you're not going to know if it works or not. So it does take time. So you've just got to be patient with yourself, and so that's it really. You've just got to be patient.
Yeah. And I fully agree. And I love the fact that you both use that word patience, because patience in our generation is like a taboo. Not a lot of people want to apply this word. And it's not just in skincare, it could be in any area of our lives. So I really want to thank you both for that. And lastly, I just want to ask you, what encouragement, Melvina, advice or recommendations can you give to those who are listening right now regarding their skincare journey?
The advice I'll give them is, it sounds like it's repeated so much, but you've got to trust the process. As I was saying before, know your skin type, right? If it's something that needs medical intervention, seek advice from a dermatologist. But knowing your skin type really helps. Also, checking reviews, doing some research. Don't get overwhelmed with all that you're seeing. As you pointed out earlier, Esther, that we live in a fast-paced life, and you might come across, I don't know, a TikTok video. Oh, I resolved my acne in a week. So you think, oh, it's gonna work for me as well. There are different tactics that people do to get you to be sold onto whatever they're trying to sell. So you might fall for it, and just because it's worked for one person doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. So don't get overwhelmed with so many products and then end up just buying and hoarding and being overwhelmed with so many products. So literally one or two, do your research into it, but also knowing the products that you're using and what it consists of, because our skin is sensitive more than we realize, and we just got to be careful with that. But ideally something that is on the natural side, or something that is not too harsh. So going with that and then try it out. But, if I adopt a routine and go with it, be consistent with it as well. Don't expect that it's going to go away in a week or two, when you've probably had the issue for a greater part of your life. So, just got to do your own research, and remember that Rome isn't built in a day. So just be patient with it and trust the process.
That's it. Wow. Thank you so much, ladies. Both of you have contributed so perfectly. Do you either have anything else to say at this time, or would like to share anything?
I'll just say that, for anyone going through the skincare journey, just keep going. It's a thing where you have to keep going. And I did like what Melvina said about being overwhelmed with products. That's something I actually do want to speak about, in terms of like, the thing with skincare is that, and the industry, people do prey on your insecurities. So a lot of these products that are created, some of them generally don't work. Do you understand? Sometimes, and you know what is targeted marketing, right? So on social media, and because of the things you've been clicking, all these adverts come your way, and a lot of them is what it is. It's marketing, right? So you might see comments that say, "Yeah, wow, I've been using it for a day. I've seen changes already." Yeah. What advice I want to give is, your desire to have better skin is sincere, but don't get into desperation mode that you fall for anything and everything, right? Because you will just waste a lot of money, you waste a lot of time. A lot of these things, they don't work. And like Melvina said, you see these maybe TikTok videos or this Facebook post or something that says, or YouTube videos. Not a lot of them do have what's it called again? Clickbait titles. So cleared up in a week or whatever. The reality of life is that that does not really happen. Generally, there might be some miracles that, yep, some products that could have something happened within a week. But however, if you're looking for like generally perfect, healthy, glowing skin, it's not going to happen in a week. Sorry to disappoint. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks, right? For me personally, I would say where I start to see changes within like a month. You should see something within a month. But normally, I would, with consistency, by the way, give yourself 3 months to actually say, okay, I'm not seeing, or I'm seeing changes. You should be seeing something at least within 3 months of whatever you are doing. I've just when I first started, went to a dermatologist, a Black lady, and she said that Black people have to wear SPF, has to be at least SPF 50. So that's good advice. So that's one thing that I've, because when I was younger back in the day, did not understand, didn't think it was important, didn't understand about SPF 50. But if you're going to be doing all these skincare things, you know, and using all these products, you have to protect your skin. Cultivating that mindset of patience will really help you to not fall for all these different clickbaits and these marketing and all these things. It is a journey, and you will have setbacks. And like Melvina was saying as well, it's not just about products, by the way, it's not just about physical products. Also, you have to be mindful of what you eat, right? I know that when I get into a habit of eating a lot of dairy, I will get spots. Right, I know that I can't eat dairy, but if I'm just eating a lot of dairy, I will get spots. So you might have to look at your foods, what might also trigger your skin issues. And also one thing that I realized that really, really is bad for your skin is stress. Avoid it, remove it from your life, tell God to to push them away from your life, because that stuff really impacts. I realized that just when I began to just cultivate a lifestyle of just avoiding stress, removing myself from situations, from negativity, that really blessed my skin. That really blesses your mind, because then you have a mindset of peace and joy. And that when you have peace and joy, and you're more motivated to do what you need to do, right? When you're under so much stress, you're tired, you can't be bothered, you're demotivated, you just want to sleep all day, you're inconsistent. Do you understand? So stress, you do not need. Avoid every kind of stress and negativity, block it all out. And drink a lot of water. Water is good for your skin. Drink a lot of water. So for some people, you might need to cut down on sugar. You might need to cut down on oily foods. So these are the things so it's not just one factor. It's not just the skincare products are important, whether it's natural or a combination or whatever. It's important to find the right skincare products, but it's also much more beneficial to also consider other factors, because they all add up. And also and your self-love. You need to have that. You need to have self-love, and that self-love comes from receiving the love that God has for you. Do you understand? That is what's good for your skin, because when your spirit is healthy, your mind is healthy, your soul's healthy, then you have the motivation, you have the energy, you have the right mindset to be able to work on your skin. But yeah, it is work. Just know that it's work. You have to be willing to work. So like people want magic. It doesn't work that way. Not even with God. Do you understand? It's not an overnight miracle thing. You have to be willing to put in. I think Melvina said it, put in the work, and you have to be consistent. Like I said, you can have some inconsistent. And one thing I want to say is that if you find yourself sometimes not being consistent, or think you're not doing as well as you should, don't beat yourself down about that. So in this journey as well, don't live in condemnation. That's not going to help your journey. So if you have a setback or you weren't doing as well, just say, okay, cool, that's why I didn't do so well. Just carry on going. Just start again. Just start or carry on from where you stopped, right? Because there's sometimes some nights where I find myself, you know, I haven't washed my face twice a day. So I noticed that when I don't wash my face twice a day and night, in that season, I'm likely to get spots if I'm doing that frequently, you know, or more than normal. So, and then when you then get the spot or whatever, and then you might not be tempted to feel bad. Oh, see, it's because, you know, I should be doing my skincare routine twice a day. I should, you know, be doing it at this time. I forgot to use that product or this and that. And then you just start to feel down. So no, don't live in any form of condemnation. If you didn't do everything to the T, it's okay, right? You know, progress will you will still have progress, but just get back on track. Don't spend time just, you know, living in condemnation and living in, you know, oh my god, self-pity. No, just get straight back on track, because at the end of the day, like, the time, this, you know, you still have time. There's still time. Whether you achieve it in 6 months time or you achieve it in a year's time, there's no point in stopping, because that time when you weren't doing nothing, you could have used to be doing something, and you would have seen the progress. So yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going, whether you have a setback or not. And more than likely you might have setbacks within that journey, which I would say you will, at least one, right? It's okay, it's normal to have setbacks, but just keep going, and change is definitely possible. Yeah.
Right. Change is definitely possible. And to add on that, Melvina, do you have anything else to contribute to what Wendy has stated?
I just wanted to say that, you know, love yourself, love the skin that you're in, love the body that God has given you. It's your temple and you need to love it. God loves you, so you need to show yourself that love back. And this could be in the form of what you eat, what you drink, and, you know, what you apply to your skin. That's self-care is an extension of the love that you need to show yourself, and the fact that God loves you. So you need to love yourself. It just makes sense to do that. But it's easier said than done to, you know, be gentle to yourself, and, you know, not be frustrated or condemn yourself, or, you know, something's not working, so you're going to, you know, be frustrated about it. Just be gentle with it and trust the process. It's easier said than done, but you need to do that. But I think it all stems from confidence. And once you're confident, I think it doesn't matter what your skin type is. It doesn't matter what your skin's looking like. Be confident, because if you love yourself, it shows. And people would want to know you for who you are, your personality, you know, who you are, not because of your skin. No one's thinking, oh, Melvina's really sweet, but she's got spots. Nobody ever said that, you know. So you need to be confident in yourself, because that's when people will love you for who you are, not because I appreciate that people, you know, to an extent may not feel that way when their skin has been problematic for years. Also, just staying in your own lane and focusing on yourself, because you could look at, you know, all these fads and adverts and clickbait and stuff and think, oh, why hasn't it worked for me? I bought the same thing, I did the same thing that she said, and it didn't work. But then, you know, it worked for so and so and it hasn't worked for me. That worked for them, but you need to find yours. So not feeding into societal trends. So, oh, everyone's using turmeric, I'm also going to use turmeric, but turmeric made my skin dry. So you feel like, oh, what's going on with my skin? So don't feed into it. You just got to know your skin type and just keep trying. And if it fails, try again. You know, God hasn't failed on us. Why should we fail on our skin? You need to keep going and trust the process. And remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. But firstly, love yourself like God loves you. that's what I want to say.
Oh, wow, amazing. Ladies, thank you so much for your time today and your powerful contributions to Confident Face and just being able to share your stories with us. And we really hope that those who have been listening have been encouraged by Wendy and Melvina's story, and believing that as you take the time to study Confident Face, you will be intentional about not only investing in great skincare products, but also having a renewed mindset and ultimately see gradual changes coming to pass. So signed copies of Confident Face are on our website, which is authenticworth.com/books for further information. Stay tuned with Authentic Worth on our social platforms and subscribe to the YouTube channel here for more inspirational book content. Till next time, we will see you in our next video. Thanks everyone and have an amazing day. Bye.